Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over properties of lines, how to solve for them, and let's choose right in. Oh, here we go. So intercepts, horizontal, vertical lines. The point where a graph intersects the y-axis is, okay, it's not too hard. So we have a graph like this. Wherever it hits here is the y-intercept. Now it's a little more involved than that though. Well, we have an equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The y-intercept is always given by b. Okay, so that tells you if you have an equation like y equals 3x plus 2, this is where it crosses the y-axis at 2. So it crosses at 0, comma 2. Okay, all right, so y-intercept. To find a y-intercept, so as we just saw, a y-intercept is when it crosses the y-axis. And when it crosses the y-axis up here or down here, what's this x value? It's always the same. It's x is 0. Okay. So this is when x is 0. If you want to find an x-intercept, you let y be 0. Okay. So in this question, we have an equation ax plus by is c. If a was 1, then we'd have x. If b was 0, this goes away. We have x equals c. We don't need the plus. There's nothing here to add. So if x equals c. Okay, if x equals c, in other words, any number, we're going to have a vertical line because that fixes x. No matter what x is, it's always the same number. So if this said x equals 1, then x is always 1. It goes all the way up and down. It's a vertical line. Okay? It's a vertical line. It's asking here what the x-intercepts are. It's asking where does it cross the x-axis. Now, you really want to zoom in on this. Don't just guess. Zoom in, and you can see this is the x-axis right here. It's this horizontal line. It crosses at this point. Now zoom in and you'd see that that's x is 5. So x is 5 and y is 0. Okay, so that's that one. So that's the x-intercept. There's not more than one. So lines can only have one max intercept. Um, with the exception, which we won't see, if x equals 0, then it has infinitely many y-intercepts, and the line y equals 0 has infinitely many x-intercepts, but don't worry about that. That's like way too much. Okay. Um, let's do this, right? So if we plug in -4, we would get y is 0. Plug in -2, we get y is 2. Plug in x is 0, you get 4. And you can see there's a pattern. It's increasing by 2, so it's 0, 2, 4. The next one's 6. And that only works when they're lines, okay? So let's check this, okay? The x-intercept is when y is 0. So look carefully. When is y 0? When x is -4. So when x is -4 and y is 0, okay? And the y-intercept is when x is 0, and at this point right here, 0, comma, 4. Done. Now there's sort of a trick to that. If we want to find the x-intercept, we just let y be 0. So we're going to say y is 0, so we have x minus 4 times 0 equals 8. That's just x equals 8. So the x-intercept is 8, comma, 0. Let's type that. Okay. The y-intercept is when x is 0, so 0, 0 minus 4y, or minus 4y equals 8, because we don't have an x. What would y be? Well, y would be 8 over -4, which is -2. So that's the point 0, comma, -2. And let's type that. By the way, laptops were not meant for math. They're meant to type things, not write math. It's a little annoying entering this. Now to graph this, we can use the intercepts. So they're not just asking this for fun. These are going to help us to graph, meaning all we need to graph a line are 2 points. We have our 2 intercepts, so we can just plot them. So the first point was 8, 0. So when x was 8, so I click this button right here, that means I want to graph a line. And you can see right here, it's reading where my points are, so they're all over the place. But if I move it to 8, 0, click. I move the other one to 0, -2, that's down here. I can see it says that up there in the yellow. Plot it, save, done. Okay. Let's move on. This is the same as that question. So find the intercepts, plot those points. Write an equation. Okay. So how do we do this? There is sort of a trick here. Now, there's several ways to do these problems. One would be to use point slope form. Um, we can get it into slope intercept. But I'm going to show you sort of the easiest way right now, only because we're given the y-intercept. So that tells me, I know if I have a line, it looks like this. That tells me b is 5. But to get m, I could use 2 of the points. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I take any 2 points, let's take these two. My y2 is 5, my y1 is 5 over x2 minus x1. So it's just 0 over 2, which is 0. So my slope is 0. So I don't have anything for m. So the equation is just y equals 5. Okay, equals 5. Good. Okay. Graph these. A line that looks like y equals 9 is just always going to be at 9. So as long as my y value is 9, doesn't matter what x is, I can pick any of these. Just means y is always 9. It's a horizontal line. And then I'm going to do another one. X equals 9. Make sure I'm at 9, not 8.5, because there's decimals. So put a 9. Oop, that's at 8.5. I don't know if you can undo here. I think it's a let's say Control Z. No. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to click the same point. Nope. I think I can delete that though. Yeah, delete that. Do X is 9. Any point where X is 9. Doesn't matter where Y is. Done. And that's what it wants. Okay. Oh, they want us to label the graph. So make sure you type that one's Y equals 9. This is X equals 9. Okay. All right. So then which one's Y equals 0? Y equals is always a horizontal, so it's either C or D. But you can see that this is when Y is 0 right here, D. Okay. And then X is 0 is a vertical line. It's either A or B, but this one's X is 0. Okay. All right, moving on. That's an equation of the form y equals, so we just have to look at where does it cross. It crosses at 2. So that's y equals 2. So you put y equals 2. Okay. And then the last one. So I want to make these videos kind of quick. Let's go to this. Write the equation of the horizontal and vertical line that passes through this point. So if it's horizontal, then it's of the form y equals. Since it hits this point, that means y has to hit this y value. So it's y equals -7. Okay. And the second one, since it's vertical, it has to look like x equals. And since it passes through 0 for x, it has to be x equals 0. All right, that's it for this video. Hope it helps.